divine duty to change the world. And we first starting with our own communities today are in shambles. But we manning up to change the world.
Who's the brother walking through the hood? Brother D. Shaking hands, making friends. It's Brother D. Who's the brother spreading love through his community? Straight from Flint, Michigan, it's Brother D. Now who's the brother walking through the hood? Brother D. Shaking hands, making friends. It's Brother D. Who's the brother spreading love through his community? And when you see
Flint time, this Brother D, wearing this together with the brother Lyme Lyfe, Brother J on the wheels of steel. Today I have a show that's gonna come from a different angle, come from where your heart lies. This ain't intellectual right here. This is heartfelt. Cause in this city, we claim we got water problems, we claim we got school problems, we claim we got trust problems, we claim we got all kind of problems. But let me share with you the one devastating problem that destroyed this city, black families, other families, men, women, and children. Drugs. Man, ain't nothing been as destructive in our community, in this nation, outside of slavery, than drugs. Used to be a time you couldn't find a mama. When I was growing up, I didn't know no mothers that wasn't at home with their children. I didn't know not one. I'm not saying there was none, but I didn't know not one. But ever since crack been around, every time I turn around, I know a sister ain't got a child somewhere on drugs. I know a whole lot of men, when we was growing up, had plenty of potential. Some was headed to the league, some may be headed to the Ivy League schools. But man, when them drugs hit, we wasn't going them places no more. We went to what they call hell on earth. And today, I'm finna bring to you a brother, man. And this story we finna discuss with you, Flint, ain't what we heard. It ain't what we read. It's what we live. I'm gonna let the brother introduce himself to you.
Hi, my name is Leslie Lee. I'm 42 years old. I was born here in Flint, Michigan at Clarence Hospital. You know, I appreciate Brother D allowing me with the privilege to be able to be on his show. You know, I was an individual that had a lot of potentials coming up, but I got deviated. And what I mean by deviated is that I tried to be grown when I was only a teenager. What happened was, you know, I had started drinking alcohol and started smoking marijuana. And then one day somebody led me to say, hey man, try this, man. This is the only thing this gonna do is make you feel like you're a little higher, which was some crack cocaine, and I tried it. And ever since that day, I was gone. And you know, I come from two working parents. My father, he retired from New York City. He had 25 years in the shop. He worked in the farming unit. My mother, she retired from Saginaw Steering Gear. She had with 34 years in General Motors. So as you know, it wasn't no issue with me financially. It was just something that I want to fit in with a crowd 3 times my age. And by me wanting to fit in the crowd 3 times my age, I decided to practice some of the things of what they were doing. And in the process of me practicing some of the things of what they was doing, I achieved it, or I took on an addiction called crack cocaine. What crack cocaine did to me, it had led me to prison. I've been in prison 5 times. I'm a D prefix. One time I went back for just a violation. I was homeless. I've been suicidal. But until one day I decided, I say, hey, I'm tired of throwing rocks at the penitentiary. I'm tired of going to the penitentiary. I'm tired of every time I see somebody begging them for $1 or $2 or stealing from my mother or stealing from my other family members. I just got tired of it. And so one day I had checked to the shelter, which is Carriage Tower Ministry down there on Garland Street here in Flint, Michigan. And I just said, you know, I was tired of, you know, my mother, like I said, she had worked at General Motors, so she stayed in Grand Blanc. And a lot of people say, when you decided that you wanted to get sober, why you didn't go stay out there in Grand Blanc with your mother? You know, she stayed by herself. Her house so big, you got to use intercoms to talk to each other on each side of the house. But I knew for a fact that I didn't need to be enabled. I needed to look at me. I needed to deal with me, so I went to the shelter. And from the shelter, I was led to an AA meeting. Then from an AA meeting, I was led to the church. Then from the church, I went to school. And then now I'm working as a case manager in the mental illness field. And so that, you know, that's just basically my story. That's how drugs affected me and my family.
Okay. And that's powerful. I remember you on some of that journey.
Okay.
But this is what I want to know. At what age and how long does this addiction last? When did you start? How many years was you in?
Well, the first time I ever decided to smoke some crack, I was 12 years old. I was in Compton, California. When my father retired from General Motors here in Buick, he had bought him a limousine van. And when he bought this van, he was, you know, going over to Metropolitan Airport, you know, and he was taking people, like when they come in for flights, he was taking them to the motels, you know, but then he looked on the flight roster and seeing how many flights was coming into the LAX airport in California. So he decided to move to California, so, you know, to try to, you know, increase his business. And so when he moved there, he sent for me like a year later. And then when I got there, I was already addicted to alcohol and marijuana. When I got there, he was practicing sobriety. He got over like 32, 33 years of sobriety.
At that time?
At the time when I got there, he had about like 10 then. But to answer your question, from all the way up to the age of 12, all the way up to 38, that's when I was getting high. Getting high, doing alcohol, marijuana, things of that nature. So then when I decided I ain't had no drink, no cigarette, no alcohol, no crack since September the 16th of 2012.
Okay. That's powerful, brother. Now, you know, some people, right, they take it light. They don't understand unless you are an abuser. And even some that abuse drugs, they don't really understand the peaks and valleys that they go through.
Exactly.
They don't. So tell us some of the peaks and valleys you went through, and what was your ultimate low? When was you at your worst, and how did you live?
Okay, some of the peaks that I went through is, you know, like I say, I had been to the penitentiary 5 times. Each time while I was in prison, I always told myself that I wasn't going to get high. I always told myself, well, you know, well, you could just drink you a beer, you could hang out at the same places, hang out with the same people, but you could just drink your beer. This time you could sell you some dope instead of use you some dope. But it always happened, what had happened was I'd be drunk somewhere one night and always be so drunk. Then when everybody going home to lay down, like people that was able to drink and go home, I started to deviate and go somewhere else because I wasn't sleeping. Now I want something what I'm really addicted to. So alcohol and marijuana, I had to learn that it was just a gateway that led me to my drug addiction. And so when I was at my lowest is my mother had left me a house on Dewey Street. And that was the only thing I was in charge of was, you know, maintaining the house. She was paying the taxes and paying the bills. But I couldn't maintain the house because I had a full-blown addiction. So what I started doing is taking things out of the house, like the copper pipes and selling it out the house and everything. And so then that's how I became homeless. And then when I looked on my face and I looked around, I ain't have nothing. I had thought about ending my life. I had thought about, you know, I will never be able to mount nothing. I'll never be able to achieve nothing. And then so God led me to the shelter because he had to get me sober in order for him to talk to me.
Yeah, brother. Do you know, man, I've been looked at as less of a man or I ain't in school or as popular as I was now that I spent a lot of time around the malls and not in the streets. you feel about people who think you ain't cool?
See,
or you ain't hip because you ain't a street guy?
See what happened with that, Brother D, is that, see, you got to look at the generation of people that's raising people. You got mothers at the age of 14, grandmother at the age of 28, 29. You see what I'm saying? And the only thing they do is sit there and play the video games, smoke weed, or now they like that syrup or toot that pot or whatever. And so what it is that they don't have no role models. And so once you see, your mind is like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant in the garden is what type of fruits it's going to produce.
Yes, sir.
And so if they're not planting the ways of society in their minds, they're only planting the ways of what they see going on around them. That's all their insight go produce. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so if you're not producing what they used to, then use a target. You matter of fact, you use like how can I put it? Use like a outsider, because you're not doing you think you're better than me. But see, a lot of people don't realize is that what you're doing, some of the stuff you're doing, I wrote the book on some of that.
Yes, sir.
You feel what I'm saying? And this is why I used to think the same way that, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Like I said, when my mother stayed out in Grand Blanc, if I find myself out there in Grand Blanc when I was getting high and she done gave me some money, I felt out of place. I had to get down there to McClellan and Saginaw with people thinking like me, dressed like me, and trying to be slick like me. I didn't feel comfortable around a businessman or somebody can tell you how to get some real money. Because you know what? You're living your life too slow for me.
Exactly.
I want everything to move fast.
Exactly.
That's why in the penitentiary I never learned how to play chess.
Me neither. No.
So that was a great question.
Slow.
That was a great
But let
question.
me ask you this too, man. You had children while you was in the madness, right?
Yeah.
Did you have to repair those relationships after you became sober, or through it all, was it somebody else like me?
Okay.
When I was out my mind, man, my grandmother did a magnificent job. She never let my children disrespect me. She never let them look at me sideways.
Right.
So I just had to almost like just get to know them again. Because they had that love that she made them have. She told me one day that my daughter was telling her cousin, he ain't my daddy. And my grandma said, well, pack your clothes and leave. I can't be your grandma.
That's right.
Because that's my grandson.
That's right. But see, now mine was a little totally opposite of that. I had a daughter. Matter of fact, me and her have the same birthday. I was born October 2nd, 1973. She's born October 2nd, 2000.
I got a son, born May 12, 1996. I was born May 12, 1968.
Okay, so now we got something in common.
Yes.
Okay, but the answer to your question is that my sister used to go get my daughter. And at the time, me and my sister weren't on the best, didn't have the best relationship. So my older sister sided with my child's mother. And so as an infant, she always used to hear them two always speaking about what I was doing out there in the streets. So when she got a little older, where she could comprehend a little bit, she started to treat me the way how she saw everybody else treat me. But my mother used to always go get her, take, and buy her stuff, and then she always would tell her, that's your daddy, such and just like your grandmother. But, now now she's 15, and she's starting to get into it a lot with her mother. Now they be wanting me to come in the picture to help try to straighten stuff up. But all these years when I kept trying to tell y'all about this, you should raise it this way and raise it this way, you understand, just because of the lifestyle that I was living, my words didn't have no validity into them, so therefore they didn't pay attention to them. But see, now they want me to come in, want me to do that, which I don't mind, but it's a struggle.
That's right. But like I said, brother, I'm going to say it one more time. This man is a hero. we're gonna be back with some more.
Industry Ready Production, psbeats.com. Make your purchase now.
I gave us hope when they told us that it wasn't none. They said we couldn't, cause look at where we coming from. I changed it up. Better step back, we so dangerous. Gotta be down the ride if you gon' hang with us. I gave us hope when they told us that it wasn't none. They said we couldn't, cause look at where we coming from. I changed it up. Better step back, we so dangerous. Gotta be down the ride if you gon' hang with us.
About that, I was lost, but then I found rap. Well, it found me while I was dying for a way to get that hurt out. Make me skirt out when I'm driving, I ain't lying. Took so motherfucking long, I got that workout. Cause a nigga ain't about to be broke. By the dollar nigga, I'm at your throat. No turtleneck, ain't no tight shirt. Just my hood and we gon' murk. Yeah, we bout that. Shoot you on the sofa, nigga, salty back. That's a lazy boy. Me and my niggas rip crazy toys. You hear them shits make crazy noise. Shoot up brands and babies, boy. Chunky toesies up, we just the baby boy. Like 4 fat toasted, windows up. When I'm toasting, double cup. Add one more, go get sip. Needs the potion when I spit. Feel it potent, he got spoken, I am chosen.
I gave us hope when they told us that it wasn't none. They said we couldn't, cause look at where we coming from. I changed it up. Better step back, we so dangerous. Gotta be down the ride if you gon' hang with us. I gave us hope when they told us that it wasn't none. They said we couldn't, cause look at where we coming from. I changed it up. Better step back, we so dangerous. Gotta be down the ride if you gon' hang with us. Ever since a youngin' turned nothing into something, played the card that I was dealt. Why the mother niggas bluffing? Thank God for my life and my kids and future wife. They deserve better, so I'm working all night. Never see me giving up, I fall down, I'm getting up. Food for thought for the world, here you go, eat it up. Ain't no way around it, music lost, and I found it. Freedom music, real talk music. This is what this sound is. Better just get used to it. Hold on tight, I won't lose it. This is not hip hop, so don't you confuse it. Cause I'm me and I'm free. Speak what I want, that's how it's gonna be. God first, family second. Music, yo, yellow FME. Hey, I gave us hope when they told us that it wasn't none. They said we couldn't, cause look at where we coming from.
Rolling with Brother D and the family here at Fame Boutique. Ladies, you should come in, shop, sip, and purchase something lovely just for you. Fame Boutique offers exquisite, beautiful pieces just for women to look good and feel good in. Come shop Fame.
You know, to overcome what you overcame, overcome some of the things that I overcame. See, it take the hand of God for raising.
Cause see, not to cut you off, Brother D, but see, I was the type of crackhead, man, that I hung out down there on McClellan and Saginaw. And I don't know if the people are familiar with it. I know you're probably familiar with it, but I was the time. It used to be a time that you couldn't turn that corner and you didn't see me.
I remember that.
You hear me? Because see, I thought that if I went to sleep, I was gonna miss something. So in order for me to go to sleep, I had to fall out. I had to pass out. Sometimes I pass out on somebody's line, and some having people know my mama. They call her. She had to come get me because I felt if I went to sleep, I was gonna actually miss something. Somebody's gonna turn a corner and want to spend $50. Then I could take their $50 and go see my man and get over $200 worth of dope, and I'll give them about 20 or 30, and I keep the rest. And so this is where my mindset was at, tricking people. And I felt that if I ever went to sleep, that I was gonna miss somebody turning the corner with that money. So if I didn't fall out, I didn't sleep.
Exactly. So if you did happen to fall out and heard somebody showed up with $100, you was mad as hell.
I was real mad. And then what I do is I'll find out who spent it or who took it and doubled the money up. Then if it's somebody weaker than me, I'm gonna go take it. I mean, that's just how it was. I ain't even saying I was a tough guy, but when you addicted to something, you take chances you normally wouldn't take.
Exactly.
And so, that's what happened.
So let's get up to this part, brother. Cause I see you got your wife sitting here with you. And so when did you actually get married, Coach?
I got married July 27, 2012. 2 months before I had actually 2 months before I actually got sober. I got married to her July 27. But at that time, you know, I had slowed down on the drugs. She really never seen me get high on those drugs and never seen me, you know, but like a few times I had done left the house and stayed gone. Matter of fact, one night we was at a nightclub out there partying at the motorcycle club, and I had done got drunk. And that urge came on to get high. I had left her at the club with no ride or nothing, and just pulled on off. And when they got me some dope, stayed gone 2 or 3 days. But you know, thank God that she stood there in my corner. But yeah, we've been married since July 27th.
That day, she knew something wasn't right. But
Yeah, she knew that.
Because this brother wouldn't just leave me in a place like this and be gone for 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Man. Now, brother, I remember you when you was out there. I was out there at the time too. I just snorted, sell hard, snort salt. Out my rapping man.
But see, you was one of them individuals that I spoke about early in the story, about if somebody turned the corner and if they had $100, I could go to that person, or if they had $50, I could go to that person, get $200 or $300. So I done called you a few times.
Yes, sir.
And I made you give me triple what I was spending.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So you know exactly, like you said when you first began this documentary, you said this ain't something we done read about or something we done heard about, this is something that we done lived.
Exactly.
Okay, so you know.
And you know what? And I was thinking, this is how my mind I was. I'm thinking I'm showing you I'm your man.
Mm-hmm.
And you showing me that you my man.
Mm-hmm.
See, we didn't turn destruction into love.
That's right.
That's what's happening on them streets, man. See, all that circle of drug using and selling and abusing, and we think that this your homie, this your man, this your guy, is false. It's false, because once you relieve from it, man, you don't want to see, they call you deacon leave now.
Exactly.
You go to work in Saginaw every day, man.
That's right. Also, I'm a part-time shift manager down at Tears Foundation, the homeless shelter where I started my journey at. See, that's how God is. I don't know if you familiar with the story of Paul in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
You know, remember how Paul used to burn people at the stake for practicing Christianity?
Yes, sir.
But when he got saved, God took him right back down that same road where he used to kill people.
Same road.
But now he coming back in a different mindset where now he lead people to Christ instead of killing people. And so then now God took me right back to the area where I came from, not in the same token of trying to trick somebody, but now trying to work for him. You see what I'm saying?
That's powerful, brother. Now tell me, when did you didn't go to school while you was incarcerated, did you?
No, sir. No, sir. When you remember times since you done exposed that me and you both was in that limelight, you remember the time when me and you both ended up in TRB?
Yeah.
And Ypsilanti, Michigan, when it was in Ypsilanti, that's where I got my GED. See, I never even went to high school. I was getting high and getting drunk, so I got, you know, when I got locked up and went to prison, then when we violated, and then they sent us to that alternative program, that's where I achieved my GED. But now, since a lot of people say, you ain't never been to high school, I said no, but I carry a 3.8 now in my master's program. You see what I'm saying? That's how God is. Exactly. And so, you know, that's
never been to high school, Flint. So all you young brothers out there who think it's over because you ain't been to high school, many of you ain't even seen the places this brother has seen, and now he in the master's program. When did you get your bachelor's?
I got my bachelor's May 5th of 2012. And let me tell you a story about when I got my associates. You know, I used to tell you about how I used to go on one of them binges. So I was graduating on my associate's degree, and this was in 2011 when I achieved my associates from my community college. But I had went out the night before graduation, and she had to come find me and keep me woke enough just to walk across the stage
and get your degree.
to get my degree. But then when the bachelor's came around, I was on a whole totally different mind frame. I was sober. Now I'm achieving my master's degree. God is good, ain't he?
God is good. Now tell us about how you give back. I mean, the work that you do seems to be totally in the same area that you came from, but it's not limited to that.
Well, that's a great question, Brother D. How do I give back? Like I said, I'm a limited licensed bachelor social worker, which is I'm a case manager. The soup kitchen to eat with brothers, man. You know, if they want to hold their appointment at the soup kitchen, I go sit at the soup kitchen with them. If they want to hold it, wherever they want to hold their appointment, I don't go in no dope houses because of prior addictions. I don't mess around with drugs. I don't associate myself with people that, if you one of my clients, then I would deal with you to a certain extent. And I would take you as far as that if I see that you motivated to receive help, then I'm there with you 100%, just like people was there with me. And not only that, like I said, remember, I'm a part-time shift manager also down in Carriage Town Ministry. So I mentor guys down there. I let them know that I try to establish hope. I let them know that this is not the end of the world because you done ended up in a homeless shelter. It's not the end of the world that you don't have no money. Brother, I'll sit in the same seat that you sat in. And matter of fact, I even tell them, see now, just like with the prison system, now these brothers and sisters, they really got it easy. When we was going through, it was totally different. Yeah, and so now I tell these people, I say, matter of fact, you had it easier now when you sitting in that seat than I did when I went through. And so, my job is in both places I go, man, I just try to establish hope. And the reason why I like Carriage Town so much is because Carriage Town is a ministry as well as a mission. And it gives me an opportunity to put God in it. I put God in my case management work too, but it's only certain things because of certain policies. You can't force nothing on nobody. So it's only certain levels that I go when I'm demonstrating, God in my work as far as my case management position.
Exactly. But that's a beautiful thing, man. You have to be in the same field, serving the same type of people who are afflicted with the same ailment you were. You're an inspiration to me, man. Anything you or your wife want to say before we wrap up this show?
You have anything to say, baby? But she always been shy. But her name, tell the world your name.
Patrice Lee.
Patrice Lee. Sister Deacon Lee. All right.
Well, she's a Urshi. She was an Urshi church. We had some deacons, so she haven't been promoted to that level yet, but it's coming though.
Okay.
And not only am I the deacon, a deacon at the church, but I'm the president of the deacon board. And that's just how God is. See, the Bible say it is our job to plant the seed, but it's God that gives the increase. And and in order for God to give the increase, you got to associate yourself with God. Exactly. I know what faith and what practice is in you, but y'all believe in God, and I know, and y'all know that in order for you to still progress, you got to have God out front. And that's what I try to do. I'm not perfect. I fall short. But one thing about it, I know I can repent and keep going. And that's how I live my life today.
And don't look back. Flint time. This is powerful. I'm going to tell you something. This is a hero. This brother is a hero according to the standards of God. He may not be a hero according to what the society tells us they want us to be, in love with Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and people we can never reach out and touch or go and talk to. All y'all in Flint, young brothers, old, trouble, losing faith, you can come talk to him. You can see him. Reach out and touch him. And Brother D say a hero because anytime a man live in hell on earth and then come back to be a servant of God and the people is a hero. And we ain't got nothing but love for you. Peace to you. Brother D, we out of here.